Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. R.J. Horner here. I am I'm your host of Open Up, and I'm also a volunteer for Voice of Men 360. Voice of Men 360 is a not-for-profit organization founded in 2020 and is based in Toronto, Canada. Voice of Men 360 was born out of a tremendous need and helping to step up and support our men and boys overcome their life challenges. We're part of International Men's Day. International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 years so far and is now represented in 90 plus countries around the world who join together doing various activities. International Men's Day follows six pillars which represent the overall well being of boys and men, and we follow in those same footsteps. So why is open up so important? Because men and boys are not open with their hearts. We're not willing to share our matters with people. And when we keep these within ourselves, they create emotional challenges over a long period of time. And at some point, they're likely to explode and will cause ill health effects. That's why we want to create an open space and allow individuals to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about the life challenges, the struggles, and the overcomes that and ups and downs that men and boys have to go through in their lives. There are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups in sharing your life journey. All walks of life are invited to participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We bring individuals to each show and let them share their life experience with you. Today, my special guest is Mariam Tchkoidze. She's from Georgia, and she is a behavioral therapist. She works in the Center of Developing Children uh, who have a spectrum of autism. She wants to help people with autism because it is her profession, and each result is a motivation. And she always tries to help achieve her goals. So, Miriam Tchkoidze, welcome, and I hope I pronounced that right. Welcome to Open Up. Thank you for joining us today and being willing to share your life matters with us.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for inviting me to your show, and I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you for your time of your wonderful program. And I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Mariam, a behavioral therapist from Georgia, and I will start my experience. When I became interested in psychology, I was 16 years old. By the time I had already decided to become psychology, and I always tried to improve my profession experience, and I always tried to achieving my goals. Then the reason why I participate in this show is that I want to share information about autism. Obviously, awareness of autism is important for society itself. To health environment is essential part for people with condition. The reason for this awareness is not help raising funds, but the awareness comes in diagnosing small children and providing them resources they need. We society must have a little information about autism in order to react properly whenever we have a relation with children with ASD. And I would like to make a small contribution to raise the awareness of autism. And today I will discuss what is autism, and I will start that autism spectrum disorder or autism is a broad term used to describe a group of neurodevelopmental conditions. These conditions are characterized by difference in communication and social interaction. People with ASD often demonstrate restricted and repetitive interest or patterns of behavior. According to the Centers of for Disease Control and Prevention, ASD is diagnosed more often in boys than in girls. There are indicates that instances of autism are on the rise. Some attribute this increase to environmental factors. However, experts debate whether there is an actual increase in case or just more frequent diagnosis. And people interested in that what are the symptoms of autism. Symptoms of autism, ACD, typically became clearly evident during early childhood between ages 12 and 24 months. However, symptoms may also appear earlier or later. Early symptoms may include a marked delay in language or social development, and the DSM-5 divides symptoms of ACD into categories: problems with communication and intersection, restricted or repetitive patterns or behavior or activities. Also, I wanted to talk about statistic, autism spectrum disorder statistic. In 2022, is diagnosed in about one out of every 54 children in the United States. And autism prevalence has increased 78% since 2000. And the country, the highest rate of diagnosed autism in the world is Qatar, and lowest rate of diagnosed autism in the world is France. And about 4 times as many boys are diagnosed with autism as girls. And I wanted to talk about what does it mean, communication and social interaction. For example, from birth, trouble maintaining eye contact, by 9 months, not responding to their name, and also by 9 months, not displaying facial experience reflective of their emotions, like surprise, anger, and something like that. By 12 months, not engaging in basic interactive games. Also, they don't using hand gestures like hand waving, and not sharing their interest with others. Also, not pointing or looking where other points, and people who have a spectrum of autism not noticing when other appears sad or hurt. And also I restricted or repetitive patterns of behavior or activities is that they have repetitive movements like rocking, plopping their arms, spinning or running back, lining objects like toys, and also getting upset over minor changes, repeating words or phrases they hear someone say over and over again. Also, they have obsessive interest, and also they have unusual reaction to sensory input like sound, smells, and tastes. And also, I wanna to talk about that. Everyone interested in that. What causes autism? The exact cause of ACD is unknown, and the most current research demonstrates there is no single cause. Some suspected risk factors for ACD include having a immediate family member who is autistic, certain genetic mutations, and being born to older parents, also low birth weight and metabolic imbalance, and also material history of viral infection. And I want to talk about what tests are used to diagnose autism. An ASD diagnosis involves several screenings, genetic tests, and evaluations. And after I want to talk about my profession, as what support is available for autistic people. There are no cures for ASD, reserved for some autistic people. Supportive therapies and other considerations can help them feel better. Many approaches involve therapies such as behavioral therapy, play therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, or um, art therapy. And I wanted to mention that behavioral therapy is so effective treatment, and I am behavioral therapist, and now I'm working with children, and I wanted to say that behavioral therapy can benefit people with a wide range of disorders. People most commonly look for behavioral therapy to treat depression, anxiety, panic disorder, disorders involving excessive anger like intermittent explosive disorder, and also behavioral therapy also help treat condition and disorders like eating disorders, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, attention phobias, including social phobias, also obsessive compulsive disorder, self-harming behavior like cutting, and then I wanted to talk about why is the important awareness of autism. April 2 is World Autism Awareness Day, and April has also become known as Autism Awareness Month in the United States. However, many community advocates have rightly called for the need to increase and awareness about ACD year-round, not just during 30 select days. The Autism Society of America and other advocates have even proposed that April be designated Autism Acceptance Month instead. Autism acceptance requires empathy and understanding that ACD is different for everyone. And also, autism awareness really important and really essential. And I want to say that the reason for the awareness is not to help raising funds, but the awareness comes in diagnosing small children and providing them resources they need. And the raises the idea of promoting acceptance and inclusion of everyone. And children with ASD should not be left out of activities because they have differing social skills and intellectual habits. Schools should be promote inclusion of every children within the educational environment. Developing children should interact with children with ASD. And also Autism Awareness Month allows individuals to learn what makes individuals with ASD different and accept them for amazing minds they have. And the main topic is that the term neurodiversity is starting to be used more widely in society, and in short, it means that just because individuals with ASD have different intellectual capabilities, and they are not disabled or disordered. And to conclude, I want to, as I mentioned in the beginning, known meaning of autism is significant for every group of people. And I hope my little presentation was beneficial for you. And uh, thank you for your interest and
Oh,
attention.
awesome.
I hope my presentation was beneficial.
Listen, I enjoyed it. Thank you very much. You were very informative about what autism is, what it means, and how we can maybe bridge that gap. Let's start to unwrap that a little, if you will. So first of all, you started as a psychologist at 16. When did you become aware or concerned about autism? When did you take up that cause?
Okay, as you mentioned, I was interested when I was 16 years old. Then I passed exams, and in I finished my university in to 2021. And now I'm working with children as a behavioral therapist.
Got you. And so autism. First of all, I actually know people on the spectrum, and they call it a spectrum for a reason, right? Because the behavioral aspect or the skills that they're able to demonstrate are on different levels, right? There may be some who are low moderate or not able to manage, not able to cope. But then there are other people who are able to cope fine. You know what I mean? They're contributing members of society as they grow up, but at the same time, their attention, their details, the awareness is not 100%, right? So there's why there's it's called the spectrum, right?
Yes. Uh, yes, they have. I wanted to mention that Einstein has autism, Albert Einstein, and we know that this is the best mathematics. And some autism children can make something good, and also developing their social skills. And we, behavioral therapists, help them to live independently.
Mm. And so another thing you said is that they're not people with lack of intelligence, right? They're often quite intelligent people. We're just not, as individuals, society, we're not able to understand them, and therefore we're not able to deal well with them. Um, what are some of the things we could do to bridge the gap there to help people like me who don't know enough to be able to interact with people with autism?
The reason we society have the little information about autism, and everyone must try to learn more about autism. And I consider that um, um, must have correct view what is autism, and uh, they must have um, a good reaction for them.
So there's a lot of prejudice in the world, and I think autism is another one of those where people have prejudice, right? They don't want to interact or be known or associated with people who have autism. It's you know what, it's a known fact, unfortunately, that we have to overcome. How could we maybe get those people to understand that these people are not bad? They're not, trying to hurt you. They're not. They're just unfortunately different aspects to their living than there are to ours. How can we help people understand that?
We we must try to have a relation with autism children, and we must make something for them. For example, event workshop, and we can make something special for them, and don't uh, um, we don't understand them as mm, different people, because they are not different people.
I get you. Yeah, from where you're coming, but I'm just talking about um, from where, like, you know, again, people with autism. What percentage of the population would you expect is autistic? Would you know?
Uh,
Would you know that?
yes, as I mentioned, two on 45 people.
2 out of 45 is what you're saying.
This is um, how do I say? This is a statistic.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so there's a small section of the population. In other words, most of the population is what we term normal. Unfortunately, there, we do we put people into categories, right? Um, so how would the people who they like to think of themselves as normal, how would they be able to understand and communicate with somebody with autism?
We can search information, for example, in internet. We can start a relation with them, and there is so many way to can contact them.
So basically, we need to make people more informed. We need to talk about this more, like you're
Yes, we
doing.
need to more talk about them, and we need to more event and workshop and something like that.
Absolutely, definitely. There needs to be a lot more awareness there. So, um, what are some of the problems that people are facing in Georgia, like parents, caregivers? What are some of the difficulties they experience?
In Georgia,
Yeah.
in Georgia, like in Georgia, like in other countries, increase the number of children with a spectrum autism, according to a statistic in Georgia. Every um, for 54 children have ASD, and also there are when I working and now I'm working with children who have spectrum of autism, and their parents don't have information what is autism, and I consider that this is so bad in Georgia.
Got you. Very good. No, thank
Mm.
you. So, what kind of support does the government have? Support options for people with autism, for families with autism?
Maybe government supports with autism. I don't know, maybe.
So, is there any, like you mentioned, workshops and things like that? Is there any
Uh,
support or
we,
options for that?
we have not. We In Georgia we don't have uh, certificates, the specialists, and we don't have a event about autism. And I'm going to go in Romania and as a volunteer. And then when I return my country, I want to share this experience in with children who have spectrum of autism.
Wonderful. Thank you. That's a great aspiration, and taking it
Yeah.
elsewhere in order to bring it back to your own people. That's awesome. So, are there any other supports like for families and things like that? That like for medical care. You say yourself you're a psychologist. How do people get access to that sort of thing?
Can you repeat this question?
So,
I,
what kind of access to care do people with autism have in your country?
what's it? Is it care
Medical
or
care, treatments, workshops. How do
no?
they get access to that?
This is not medical care. Don't need because this is not this is not care. This is disorder, only disorder,
Okay,
and
well, you mentioned
they
you
need.
mentioned therapies. You mentioned different type of therapies. This is what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. How do people get access to those? How people do they have to pay out of pocket? Is there government initiatives or programs that they can get involved in?
Yes, there we have some program. We have some event for them where I'm working, and we have some specialist of art therapy or speech therapy and some other therapy, and we help them everything what we can do.
And so, is that a covered service, like provided by the government, or is that something people have to pay for out of pocket?
People paid this. Yes.
Got you. So that's an expense that they have to
Mm.
consider for having children with autism.
Can you repeat, please?
It, just in other words, that's something that people with children with autism they must take. They must be aware that's an expense that they're going to have to pay.
Yes, yes, it's so expensive. A 1 hour therapy is 40
Hello, you're good.
Yeah. Yes, I hear you.
Sorry, we lost you there for a second. You went on mute. So just as you were about to speak, you're fine. You're fine.
Wait. Now
Yeah,
can
you're good. Yeah,
can you hear me?
yeah,
Sorry,
we can hear you,
sorry.
see you. All good. Thank you.
Thank
So again, so these are expenses that people will have to cover. So thank you for all that information because um, I think we don't have enough awareness. We don't have enough discussion about this.
Yes,
So thank you
I
for
agree
being
with
part.
you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing in that discussion today. Is there anything else you want to add regarding autism that we haven't discussed or talked about yet?
Yes, I wanted to advise everyone that no matter people with autism, typical children, I want to advise them that no matter how much the world tries to hold you back, always continue with the beliefs that what you want to do, always is what you want to achieve is possible, and believing you can become successful is the most important step in actually achieving it. And no matter they will be autistic children or typical children.
So there's a question then. Do people on the spectrum can they believe that they can do like knowing they have limitations, they have blockages, they have skills that they don't have? Can they believe that they can achieve their dreams? Is that something you know an option for them?
Yes, they can, but 5 years old, of course, they cannot. But adults, for example, 21 years old, they believe that they can make everything what they want.
Awesome. Wonderful. Wonderful. So I have a couple more questions for you, but I'm just going to run in and do some announcements on Open Up if you don't mind. So just stand by. I do have a couple more questions for you.
Okay.
So We have several live shows here with Voice of Men 360. The first you just participated in is Open Up, where we share people's personal life journey. This is a live talk show, takes place Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Thank you for watching today. Vili, which is a Tamil live talk show. Vili means I, and this takes place much the same thing, sharing people's life journey Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern Time in Tamil language. Then we host monthly webinar first Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, where we bring out organizations to share their expertise and discuss a particular topic of interest to them and our community as well. We host a special show called The Unspoken Tears, takes place the second Saturday of every month from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. The focus is domestic violence against men, bullying, male sexual abuse, traumas, porn addiction, human trafficking, and more. We talk about those things here in Voice of Men 360 on the Unspoken Tears. The next show will be Saturday, June 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. The topic is sexual exploitation and trafficking awareness. We also host the Authors Circle. We want to bring out individuals who've been contributing to the well being of men and boys through writing articles, media, and recognizing them and appreciating them. The third Saturday of every month from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And then we turn all of our content into podcast episodes. So you can find us on all of your favorite platforms: iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, and more. We also are very proud to host a monthly men's group meeting. This is only for men by men. It's a men's only peer support group every 2 weeks, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. through Zoom. The next one will be on Tuesday, June 14th. Please join. Please find our Facebook group and register and join through there. We host another peer support group called Pass the Talking Stick. This is an Indigenous peer to peer support group, the fourth Friday of every month from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. through Zoom. And then there are no limitations with gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. All walk of life are invited to participate in our programming. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows or you're willing to be a part of our organization, whether directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We're looking to work with individuals, professionals, experts, community organizations, governments, businesses, associations, and more. Our phone number is 437-889-8329. Once again, that's 437-889-8329. Or you can email us info@voiceofmen360.org. Please visit our website, www.voiceofmen360.org. And you can find us on all of your social media channels: Facebook, facebook.com/group/voice of men 360. Join our group for more interaction and daily activities. Please invite your friends as well. Also, you can find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and don't forget to like and subscribe for our YouTube channel. So that was our announcements today. Thank you very much for your patience. And Miriam, you're still here with us?
Yes, thank you for your interest and attention. And
Thank you.
thank you for your perfect program.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We try. You have a very interesting topic, so I'm glad to bring it to people.
Thank
A
you.
couple of the questions I like to ask to end our show. The first one is, what can men and boys, even especially with autism, what can they do to empower their lives or to make their lives more better?
For example, personal empowerment is about taking control of your own life and making positive decision based on what you want. And my goal, I always try to achieve my goals, and I always try to make my best. And I think that this is key for success. And I think that.
Yeah, I think that's all we can ask. Thank you. Um, Thank you very much.
Thank you too.
And then, what can we do as a society to help young men and boys, or especially again people with autism? What can we do to help empower them on their journey?
How society can help autism children.
Yes, please. What can we do
Uh,
as a society?
I think that they must be more patient for
Mm.
them with them. Yes.
And I think that boils it down. I don't know if you need to go into further discussion on that, because honestly, I know, again, I know people on the spectrum, within my personal, in personal life. Um,
Yes.
so um, I understand a little bit more patience, a little more understanding,
Yes,
could go a
acceptable.
long way. Sorry.
Acceptable, of
Yeah, for
course.
sure, for sure. So it's
Yes.
just been brought to my attention though that you're an actor or an actress as well. So would you like to tell us about that? To tell us about your experience there?
Can you repeat this question?
Apparently, you are an actress.
Actors? No,
Yeah, you don't do acting.
no.
So I was given some wrong information there, but that's okay. Thank you for that. Anyways, I was given some
Okay.
wrong information, but again, thank you. You've given us a great tale today. You've given some great information. Thank you for
Thank
your
you
time.
too.
Thank you for bringing the topic to us.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
And have a great day, folks. That's been us on Open Up. Thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this show. Until next time, RJ Horner, host and facilitator here, saying better days ahead.
Yes. Thank you. Goodbye.